All right, boys. We just came off Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, first of all. I hope everybody was happy and healthy.
I did not have a good Thanksgiving, but thank you anyway.
Damn it. You have a plate that can hold one item, but you can have as much of that one item as you like. At Thanksgiving, what one item are you putting on your plate?
That's a good question.
Man,
Again, you can have as much as you want, but nothing else.
this is a hard question, Bobby.
It's not hard. It's really not hard. The answer is stuffing.
Whew.
Okay.
Whew.
Now that can be dangerous because like some people can make some bad stuff
inside the turkey, or is
no,
it like an actual dish?
Whatever's fine. Isn't it like dangerous in the turkey because it doesn't cook right? And
is it?
I've never
I ate a bunch of it.
Well,
we don't.
Look what happened to you.
Yeah, we don't do stuffing in the turkey because we cook it differently. But
you're built different.
I'm moving different.
I like stuffing a lot. I think it's got the right consistency. It's got like
do you do a cornbread stuffing or do you like a white bread stuffing?
See, I prefer white bread, but I also like that it can be so many different things. The one thing, and this happened at this last Thanksgiving, and you guys tell me if this is weird, because to me, it was the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen. They had a regular stuffing, or it was like, this is for the normal people. And then they said, well, our family specialty is this oyster stuffing.
Oh, that's not, I mean, I don't prefer that,
Oyster
but
stuffing?
it's not
Fucking
uncommon.
Fucking gross.
It's not how I want it.
I didn't eat it, so it could be very delicious. It smelled awful.
It's not my thing.
It was potent, very pungent throughout the entire house, and I can't be around here anymore.
What are you going with, Johnny?
Well, something that I love at the holidays that my mother-in-law made and now my wife makes is corn casserole. Which
sure.
The food you get to see twice, yeah.
Yeah, it's cornbread with corn, peppers, cheese. Like, it's a very simple dish, but it's so delicious.
That sounds really good.
I eat way too much of it at Thanksgiving and Christmas whenever we have it.
That's awesome. I like candied yams. I'm a big fan of those. I think they're delicious. It's something that I could eat a ton of. And when sides come around, that's usually one that I will make sure that I have a good heaping spoonful or two of. But I think Thanksgiving is about the sides more than the meat.
Generally, you can turkey. I prefer turkey to ham, but I also you can really fuck up a turkey, whereas ham is pretty consistent.
Ham's tough to mess up.
Yeah.
Absolutely hard to mess up.
You guys got like a dessert preference while we're
I like a sweet potato pie.
You already had candied yams, like Jesus, man.
Well, I mean, I'll do a pumpkin pie too.
This man's all yams.
I like sweet potato pie for sure. But yeah, those are. It's usually a pumpkin pie, a sweet potato pie, or a pecan pie that we have on the table.
Yeah, pecan pie, or my Aunt Linda makes this stuff called pumpkin roll, which is like a thin pumpkin pastry with cream cheese frosting and rolled it up, and it
nice.
So good.
I had some of that this one. I'm an apple guy. Give me an apple pie, give me an apple crisp, an apple crumble, whatever the fuck you're gonna.
I'll take crumble over pie personally.
Just you got to put the apple stuff in it. That's what I want.
I'll make you one sometime, Chase. I make a good one.
Your wife makes some fantastic breads.
Oh my god, my wife's apple bread is so fucking good.
I'm gonna have to slip her some money and
we can do it. You know the secret is bring by some kind of soft apples.
Okay.
Soft apples.
All right. Hey, it is episode 352. It is currently November 29th. Do you all know what that means?
It's almost November 30th.
It's true. It's true. That means
there's like 1.5 casual hour episodes.
There's one episode after this before our game of the year. And next week is going to be more about a recap of the Game Awards. So really, this is kind of it. We're going to talk about
You're telling me I need to fit all of Baldur's Gate into a week?
Get
Is that what you're saying?
busy. It's November 29th. We've got games to talk about, specifically those that are coming out in December, the ones that we think are going to be worth your time. We're going to tell you about some games we've been playing. We're going to tell you about the games that we thought were going to be good in November and if we got it right. We're also going to break down some of the quote unquote free stuff you'll get. So if you subscribe into PlayStation Plus or Game Pass, we're going to let you know what you can look forward to. And we've got, I don't know, a dozen or so trailers to get through tonight. So hang tight, stick around. We're going to put some trailers on in the background, talk over them, and tell you about what we're excited for. How's that sound to both of you?
Slice of fried gold, my friend.
Well, let's see. I'm feeling somewhat generous and somewhat kind and thankful. So why don't we let Johnny tell us what
change of pace
he's been up to?
Oh, guys, what do you know about the Russian Revolution? No, I'm joking. I've been playing a little game called Last Train Home. Are either of you familiar with it?
I am.
Me talking into your ears about it,
and sending me the Steam page and going like, "Dude, I've been playing so much of this."
Well,
yeah, I don't know too much after that.
I'm the one. I think I introduced you to this as a Johnny. This is a Johnny Ask Johnny game. You should play it, and please buy it so I can play it too.
Yeah. So Bobby manipulated me into buying this.
Oh, yes. Poor you.
You know, I'm not too upset about because it turns out it's pretty cool. So the Last Train Home, you are playing as a group of Czechoslovakian soldiers. It is just after the end of World War One. The Russian Revolution.
So peaceful time. Yes.
Yes, it's one of the most peaceful times in the 20th century. And you are making your way through Russia on a train to the other side of the country to take a boat back home to Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, because you have a new republic.
Okay.
And you are managing this train, and you're also doing some real-time strategy stuff. And I just played through the opening chapter last night, where like there's a tutorial mission, and then the final thing you do is you go to Moscow to find this guy that you were supposed to meet up with. And while you're driving the train, you assign people to work different cars. So you have a medical car, you have inventory, you have the engine where you have engineers working, but then you have a kitchen car, and you have to maintain it's this.
Is it a lot like what happens between the matches of like XCOM? Would you say, like where you go back and you have like you're putting research points in this shit and things like that?
Yeah. In some ways it is.
Are you playing the Oregon Trail?
Yes.
Dysentery.
The Eastern
the Moscow Trail.
Yeah, the Trans-Siberian Trail.
The Trail of Frozen Tears.
And so, so you have your engineers, you have workers who just do general like repairs and things on the train. It's much more in depth than what you get like in between missions.
It's dense.
XCOM, it's a full blown like management strategy while you're driving the train from point to point. And while you're going, there are other places of interest that you can stop at to get supplies. Like I sent a squad to a village to buy some food, and then I sent a squad to this forest where they found a lake and they caught some fish. And it's all a balancing act, right? So you're like, I need to make sure I have enough fuel to get here. I need to make sure I have enough food to eat. If food runs low, you can actually half your soldiers' rations, which will eventually have negative effects.
A little Frostpunk, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In that,
yeah, because it's it is a tough situation. You are
there's like not great choices, just a lot of choices.
Yeah, it's not exactly enemy territory, but it is a nation at war, and Europe has just been decimated by the World War One ending, and so they really drive that home. Like we aren't at war with Russia, but if we get stopped by the Red Army, who knows what will happen? They would probably just kill us and take what we have.
Do you get to make your own characters in this, or are they like kind of predetermined?
No, they're predetermined. But each person has a different class, and you can also assign them to specific jobs. or increase their skill in something. So they all have different character traits, including like negative ones. Like one guy was clumsy, and so there's like a 15%
I get it.
chance of him, fucking up whenever you told him
Yeah.
to do something. And that part of it really cool. I love that kind of stuff. But when you actually stop the train and get out, you pick a squad of up to 8 soldiers, and you are in real time navigating them around. There's different classes. So you have your scout, your grenadier, your rifleman, machine gunner, your medic, and your machine gunner can set up oversight or overwatch. I mean, so if you are pulling enemies away, as soon as they fall into that area, they get mowed down by your machine gunner. Your scouts,
Love that.
You can have look ahead to reveal portions of the map to see.
It's like a fog of war type thing.
It's not quite fog. It's just it's dark. So like you can still see the details of the street, but if there are enemies there, you can't see them until you have like you're either close enough or you have your guy look through his binoculars and say, oh, there's a couple of soldiers there. And it ends with you getting to Moscow. The train you start with is destroyed by this Russian general that you met earlier in the opening, and so you have to sneak your way through the streets of Moscow to meet this point of contact that your major was taking you to, and then you have to basically steal another train at a train yard.
When you showed me this last night, there was even some FMV stuff happening between all this that I thought was really fucking cool how they did it.
Yeah, and one of the things that is also really cool is it has, I assume this is made by maybe a Czech studio. I need
Ashbourne Games makes it, and it was published by THQ Nordic. This is Windows only and $39.99 on sale for $33.99.
Yeah. So I assume it is a European studio that made this because there's an immersive audio track which has Czech, Slav, and Russian, and I think German. Like, it has 3 or 4 languages that it will play during the dialogue pieces. And I had that on for a little while, but I didn't want to like miss anything if I wasn't paying close attention. So I did switch it to the English track, but I think that is a really cool touch.
How familiar are you with this time period in this part of history? Like, you?
This is one of my favorite periods of history.
So, are you feeling like this is pretty accurate to what you know?
It's from what they said when they started the game is it's inspired by true events, maybe, or maybe it's a book or something that was written, but it's it feels genuine. Like the tone of it feels like when I've read or listened to like Blueprint for Armageddon, the Dan Carlin hardcore history series about World War One, like a lot of it feels like they did a good job conveying like things weren't great at this point in time, and it's really, really cool.
Nice.
It seems like it.
Is this something that you think would be something we could accurate or enjoyably show on a quick look, or is this something where it's like, oh, I got to spend like an hour telling you all the little details?
Yeah, I mean, I left off at the end of chapter 1, so I need to go.
Johnny tried to show it to me last night when the edible was setting in, and like I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's dense. There's a lot going on. Yeah. I completely botched the Moscow mission the first time, and most of my people got killed. And then the second time I did it, I didn't lose anybody, and that felt really good.
It looks cool, Chase. It looks like something you would enjoy. I don't know if I mentioned this when I was pitching.
I don't know. It looks dense from the stuff you sent me. Dense. Like that, it might be like that's getting to like the Crusader Kings territory of like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're a sicko, but you're not that type of sicko.
There are a lot.
I'm sick, but I ain't that sick.
And yeah, your soldiers will rank up and unlock new skills and things like that. You can get very, very into the minutia with it. It has a difficulty mode where it's like, hey, if you don't want to worry about a lot of the management stuff, like we'll handle it. I think that's how it was worded, but there's like I forget what they called it, but there's like 4 different difficulty modes, and you can also customize the difficulty. So if you want to have the game pause whenever an enemy is spotted, or whenever one of your soldiers goes down, you can have it do that. So it seems like there's a lot of room to tweak it and make it play how
That's
you
awesome.
want to play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to? I know there's a lot that we're trying to fit in right now. I mean, could you see this being something that you talk about in a few weeks?
Yeah, potentially. For me, the biggest things right now, there are a few indies that I want to play through that are like 3 to 4 hours a piece. I'm kind of waiting until after Game of the Year to go all the way back into Baldur's Gate 3 and finish that up next month, because I feel confident enough about where it's going to fall.
Yeah, you know where that's at.
And I don't know, like, if there's spoiler stuff you want to get into whenever we're talking best moments or whatever, we can go over that. But like this is a big surprise for me. I didn't even know this game existed until Bobby sent me.
Well, it just came out like yesterday.
Yeah.
So very cool, man. That's The Last Train Home, currently on PC. I didn't see any plans for a console release, but perhaps they'll figure that out in the future.
Yeah, the games that are that dense and mechanically
might not make it.
It's tough to make console versions of those things. I'll just listen to the Lost Prophet song, and I'm sure that'll get me caught up.
Runaway, Last Train Home, Never Coming Home.
Same thing.
All right, Johnny, thanks for the update on The Last Train Home. I've got a few games to break down here for you. First and foremost, I just want to give an update. I completed and beat. Well, I didn't complete, but I did beat RoboQuest, and felt really good about the run I had. Unlocked almost every attribute for my character. I got all of the robots unlocked, and I had 3 of the needed 6 crystals to have like a pristine finish on it.
Did you beat that on stream on Friday?
Well, nobody would have heard me if I did, because I did the whole thing without any audio. But I was the run that you saw me on stream. I finished off stream and got credits on. So
nice.
You saw you saw me get the stuff I needed. I like the second level. I got a fantastic, which is a legendary drop of a weapon that carried me through the whole thing.
So it's more like a podcast stream. Like you turn on the stream and you listen to a different podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You just saw some dummy talking.
I gotta take this sweatshirt off. I'm gonna set my headset down. I'll be right back.
I'm getting you all hot. Oh, you're going Jude. Okay.
Is that the sweatshirt I bought for him? Is he just not one? That was a gift, Johnny. You piece of shit.
He's ripping it off. He's taking it off. Take it off, Johnny.
Oh my god.
Welcome back
in this office. And the Adderall, it makes my body temperature higher.
You're just a cocktail of fun.
Dude just vibrating in his seat until he explodes over there.
I did play a bunch of new games during our break. Don't do that. No. But I only got credits on RoboQuest, but I started a bunch of new stuff. And one of those games I've had on my radar for a while was Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew. This came out back in August. It is made by, I think it's Me. That's how you say it, I believe. Like Me. M-I Games.
I'll listen to whatever you say.
They've made a handful of other stealth tactics games. So they've made the Shadow Tactics. They've made Desperado 3. And Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew came out, and then they announced they're going to close their studio. And I think there's a lot of mental complexities to making video games that they were just tired of dealing with. They do have DLC dropping for this game on December 6th that I'm very excited about. But Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew is, again, it's a stealth tactics game where you are playing as, I guess, an undead pirate. And much like Pirates of the Caribbean, you are finding skeletons of fallen pirates on these endeavors and bringing them back to your ship, where you can infuse them and shoot them with a black pearl and resurrect them as a party member. And everybody has a unique set of skills, varying degrees of approach that you can mix with parties when you go on these quests. So I've unlocked 3 people so far. The starting player, she has a sword stuck in her chest, and when she pulls that out with her skeletal arm, she can teleport with that. So she can do a blink attack. She also has the ability to freeze time, and she can just do a standard attack with that. The other character I've unlocked, so once you unlock, you start with 1, and when they give you your first black pearl, you have rescued 3 skeletons, and you can kind of choose who you start with on this. But I picked a guy that I really liked this concept. So he has a little totem that he can drop and recall to. So he can put it anywhere on the map and you press a button and he'll immediately go back to it. But the crazy thing about this totem is you can attach it to people. And there's a move that if you go back to them, you immediately just kind of do this swirling blade kill on whoever's in it. So it's a hidden trap if they walk over it. But if you attach it to somebody and they walk away, well, then you can just teleport. It's an instant kill. And now if you do it right and they walk past somebody that has like a vision cone, you kill them and you've bypassed the vision cone, and then you can stealth kill the next person. It's really cool. They also have a bird call. So you can go put your trap down and do the bird call, which attracts people to it, and then hide and go away from it that way.
Sure.
But if you do all this right with those two characters I talked about, you might have somebody who can then blink in with the other character or freeze time and allow you to move and put the trap on somebody and then get back out of there. It's really awesome.
Do you have the ability to attach that to your own guys too?
You don't have there, but the next character I unlocked, I think, might do what you're talking about. They have a gigantic cannonball hole in their belly, and they carry a giant cannonball
come back from.
Cannon on their back. And the cool thing about them is, you know, you need to hide bodies in a stealth game. Well, if you kill somebody or you knock them out, she'll just run up and shove them in the fucking cannon. And then you can shoot them as a weapon at somebody else, or you can shove one of your own crew members into the cannon and shoot them into a new location undetected.
Oh, cool.
So she has that ability, and then she can throw out firecrackers. But what's the most impressive thing to me about how they approach all this is you do all that in real time. So you're kind of watching people move and you have that happen, but you can press shift on the keyboard and pause the game and basically map out all of your attacks. And then you can either press shift to unpause it and all of your attacks are ready to go until you press enter. And then everybody executes things flawlessly. So I had it lined up last night where I had an entire group of people that I needed to get through. I had the person who could blink and hit one of them. I had the trap on another one that would walk behind somebody that I can murk the other one. And then there's some dark magic at play here too. And if you kill somebody that is focusing in on it, it spreads and paralyzes people. So there was like 4 people around this guy focusing in. I shot a dead body at him, which then sent all the shockwaves out and paralyzed everybody. And I had all that queued up and just executed it flawlessly with the press of a button. And that's I got to tell you, it was one of my favorite things I've done this year. It was so fucking fun.
You can also do something similar in Last Train Home. Space
bar,
oh, really? Freeze, and then tell us like you go here, you go here, you go here, you throw a grenade here. Space
that's
bar,
awesome.
And they carry it out.
The other thing that's neat is they do like just a series of islands that you'll go to with your boat. And when you go there, they'll be like, hey, if you do this approach, you'll get a black pearl. But if you do this, you'll get your quest item because you're like putting together a story. So there's some replayability. But what I really like is they let you drop into the map wherever you want to. And there's a few people that when you kill them, they become a portal back to your boat. And so that's where you'll throw the skeletons you find. That's also where you're going to leave the map when the time has come. But at the end of it all, they do this really zoomed out view of the island with dots moving of you and the characters. And it shows you like how you killed people, what abilities you use as a time lapse. And I really like that as like an end of the level recap.
Yeah, that's always a really cool feature.
Yep. This game is phenomenal. It's absolutely incredible. I have been blown away by the production on it and what they've done. I don't know if it's on any consoles, but it's currently $40 on Steam. And there is a demo on Steam for it. And while Chase is looking that up, I will briefly touch on a new old game. Also sticking with the tactics here.
It's everything but Switch.
I mean, Chase, this is one I think that PlayStation 5 might be calling you on.
I've got enough games, but yes, sure.
Yeah, I'll show you a quick look and see how you feel about it.
Sure.
I'm playing Super Mario RPG Remake. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking on this one. because if you've played Super Mario RPG, you know exactly what this is, because it's the same game, but it looks damn good and it plays really well.
Mario, he's a cute little guy.
He's a good little tater tot in this one. I think as a kid, I did not appreciate and recognize like just how weird that game was. And I think now that I've been able to dabble in a wide variety of games and I've got my own opinions on like weird and what I like, this is a very weird game. And looking at it much older, I'm surprised that this thing even happened, how weird it is. Like, it's kind of a marvel to see Square and Nintendo work together on something like this, but I love it. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I've got all the characters unlocked that you can have in the game at this point, and I've been upgrading everybody's abilities and going through it. It felt so much bigger and intimidating. I remember playing it as a kid. Like, it felt like a forever game, and it felt that like I was doing something that was like unparalleled by any other game. It was my first turn-based game ever. And so playing it now, I know how to like synergize. I know strategies a lot more than I did as a kid. You know, like when I played Pokemon, I had all fire, like all fire moves on Charizard.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
He needs to have Ember and Fire Spin and Flamethrower and Fire Blast. So it just makes this.
Why would you have all fire moves?
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to have all those. So now playing it after, you know, I've learned from the best here on turn-based tactics and run-based games. A book brought to you by Chase Kinnicky. I feel way more in the know of like how to like build out the right strategies and how to buff things up and do it. It's really, really good. It's been a hell of a year for Nintendo. They've had 3 just monumental games this year, in my opinion, and each one of them has really impressed me in different ways. But Super Mario RPG Remake, $60, that came out, I think, on the 19th or the 17th of this month. Very, very cool game.
I think that's going to end up being my post game of the year cooldown game.
Yep.
You know, could it potentially affect the game of the year rankings? I don't know, maybe, but that even though it's not that much of a known quantity for me, I feel like it's a known quantity generally, and I think probably my time could be better spent somewhere else. It does. That game is interesting, though, in that, you know, I played a tiny bit of it, and I've talked about that before, rented it once, and didn't really know what I was playing when I was playing it. But now I'm such a big fan of the Paper Mario games and the Mario and Luigi games. So I have a lot of experience with Mario-style turn-based RPGs, and I really like them. And to not have gone back and actually finished that game is a real dark spot on my gaming history, and one that I want to fix. So I'm excited to play it sometime. I just don't know if it's going to be before Game of the Year for this.
I know you'll talk about it here in just a little bit. How much time would you say you have left on your current Stadium Brats? I'm sorry. A while.
I don't even think I'm probably close to halfway, I would think.
Well,
I'd say this would be a fun game to hear you kind of talk over as you're playing through.
Yeah, I could see that working out.
Yep. So anyway, that was I beat RoboQuest. We talked about Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew, and Super Mario RPG Remake. All very cool, all very good. You should check out all those. And Chase, you've got an update on a new game as well.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel that new because we've talked about it on a number of streams. We've done a quick look of it. I feel like we've talked about this game a lot, Bobby, and we both kind of know each other's opinions on it. So I'll keep it relatively short here. But yeah, I've been playing more Persona 5 Tactica, and I think that game is fine.
Yeah,
it's a solidly fine video game. Yep. I know we were all a little worried about the art style when we saw it, the kind of halfway between chibi and the normal Persona art style. And I still don't love it. I think it looks better when you have the 2D versions of them, like the talking head versions.
Yeah, totally.
In 3D, I think it's a little wonkier. It's a side story that kind of doesn't matter, but it is
before the ending, right? Of 5.
Before the ending, but like somewhere like kind of like right after the climax of 5, but before it ends.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, oh, what if they snuck in a little extra mission there?
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't finished Persona 5, I don't think this is really going to spoil anything for you because they don't really mention anything that goes on. But it's kind of a complete side story that happens. But I will say we've talked about this on the show before. These Persona spin-off games like Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I remember saying I really liked in that they kept the character development, and I think this one does that as well. I mean, they're not doing much with the character development, but it's like those characters have actually had those things happen to them in comparison
there's a
to
lot
some other
more
Persona
weight
games where
on that than I thought there would be.
Yeah. You play something like Persona 4 Arena, and you go, oh, these are just the stock. The first time you meet Chie, she's just going to talk about fighting and meat, and that's all she's going to be about. And it's like they forgot. Yes, steak. Thank you. It's like they forgot everything that happened in the game to them. And this one, it at least feels like they are acknowledging that, oh yes, people have made some changes. We've become better people, and now we're going to go on this last fun hurrah. I
think I'm having a little bit more fun with it than you are, but I'm very similar to where you're at with it.
Yeah, I think that the tactics are okay. It's a little bit more puzzly than I thought it would be, where it feels like it's really about getting extra turns. There are ways for each of your characters to down an enemy, and then you get a one more, kind of like in the actual RPG Persona 5, where you can use an attack that is super effective or critical, and then you get to have another action. They kind of have a similar system here, and so a lot of it is trying to chain your one mores and getting your three characters, because you can only have three characters in any one fight, and getting them positioned in such a way where you can do the big all-out attack, and trying to chain that as many times as you can on every single turn, because those attacks just do ridiculous amounts of damage. And I think that's fun. It can be fun to puzzle it out some ways like that, and the stages are all, at least so far, where I am in the game, the stages are all pretty small, to the point where it does just feel like, oh, I'm going to do maybe 4 turns, and we're just going to kind of snap through them, and there you go, we're done. And that's fine. I think I was looking for more of an XCOM or more of a Fire Emblem, where you were going to take a lot of turns. You were going to have to put. It's not that it's not strategic. It's just that it is more puzzle like, where there is a solution out there, and you have to solve it rather than playing to strengths and weaknesses.
There's one situation in the stream that we had a couple weeks ago now, where it was literally like we were one you had to be on one specific tile, like you had to do it you had to progress the level the way that we did it, or you would not beat the level.
Now, to be fair, that was a challenge level. I was like a
side 100%,
challenge level that was
100%.
even more meant to be a puzzle. But you're absolutely right. And something that didn't make it better is that figuring out where the critical hits and the downs happen to get those one mores isn't always as intuitive as you would think it is. So like some enemies, you use your persona on them, and it can fling them somewhere, and if they're out of cover, it downs them, and then okay, so I always know I can get my extra turn that way. Or if they're out in the open, then somebody's able to shoot them, then they can get an extra turn because they were out of cover, and you get a bonus turn on that. Great, okay. There's some ways in that mission that you're talking about, that challenge mission, where you were knocking them off a higher platform, and then when they fell down, then they would be in that stunned state where you got the one more. But then there were other times where it felt like you were doing the same thing and knocking them down from a ledge, and it went, oh, no, he wasn't down. Sorry, you don't get the extra turn.
It made no sense.
I'm sure there's a method to the madness. I haven't played it enough or experienced that situation enough to be able to say exactly why some of these things happen or don't happen. But that also just leads to a bit of frustration. It's for a game that feels as puzzly and solved as that game does, to not understand the mechanics enough to be able to make that solve is frustrating. I think I talked about it. I don't know if it was on the Quick Look or one of the streams, where you have like those chess puzzles that are in the newspaper, and you see all the pieces, and you know where you're okay. You have to beat them in 2 turns. What do you do? And part of the reason that those games can be fun is you know what all the pieces do. you know how a rook moves, you know how a knight moves. And in this game, there's still some bits, and again, maybe it'll get better with a little bit more experience and just kind of seeing what happens and what doesn't happen. But I don't know how all the pieces move exactly, and that's leading to frustration to not know how to solve the puzzle in some instances. So I think it's fine. Is it going to be some exciting game of the year explosive thing? Probably not.
Sounds like it.
But I'm having enough fun with it that I think I'll just keep on playing it, and I can see myself finishing it. I don't think it's a ridiculously long game.
Do you guys find yourselves saying like enough already with all the Persona 5 spin-offs?
Oh, I think we do cover that, at least on the stream, that I've had my fill of the Phantom Thieves. Like, I'm ready for something new.
Like,
and
we had our time together.
Yeah.
It's time to move on. Like,
well, I think a lot of people felt that way about 4 as well. Like 4,
I mean, I guess you're right. This is
you got a bunch of spin-offs of 4. There was a bunch of stuff there. You got
stuff like this though. I thought it was mainly like fighting and like dance games.
Yeah, I mean, it was those 2. There was a mystery dungeon crawler thing in there, Persona Q.
That's
but
right.
then you're right.
All of them, right? Like that was like a multiverse type.
The first Q is 3 and 4 characters, and then they made a Q2 that has 3, 4, and 5 characters in it. So you're right that they've made more 5 stuff than they've made 4 stuff. Yeah, I think we're at a time where people are kind of waiting for 6, but I'm also not sure that Atlas and Sega know how to make a 6th one.
It was 8 years between 4 and 5, right?
There was a good chunk, but like even remember when 5 came out and they were trying to tell streamers that they couldn't stream the game.
This is just a weird company, man.
Yeah, like they just kind of didn't know what they were doing or what the audience was like for this.
The culture.
Yeah, and I'm sure this number of years later, they've gotten better at it. Maybe I don't know. I would love to see 6. We had like it was supposed to be like the year of Persona at one point, where they had a bunch of announcements, and then all the announcements were kind of nothing. It's like, oh, here's some new wallpapers or something, and that was like one of the big exclusive day things that they were doing. And then COVID happened, and I'm sure that changed a bunch of shit. I don't know. I would like to see a Persona 6, but at the same time, it's not like they've stopped making other Shin Megami Tensei style games Shin Megami Tensei games that are absolutely just going like, well, you could call Soul Hackers 2 a Persona 6 if you wanted to. You could call SMT 5 Persona 6 if you wanted to. So it's not like that audience isn't getting fed. In fact, like isn't the director, we talked about it on one of these things, right? He's making a new game that looks like Persona, but it has like even more of an edge to it.
Yeah.
So there are games for that. We just don't have one that's called P6 yet.
Well, someday. But yeah, I think you might see that show up on a stream again sometime. We definitely got a quick look up. If you want to check that out, you can do so. It is there in the links. But yeah, I agree with and back you up on everything you're saying. Like, I think you're spot on with your assessment there.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, again, I'm having fun. I'll keep playing, but it's not exciting me like some other turn-based tactics games have absolutely grabbed me in the past.
Well, Chase, this is where I get to hand more of the reins over to you because we've got new games to talk about. I haven't
talked very much in the last 10 minutes or anything, so probably about time for me to finally get a turn to talk.
Why don't you start kicking off how we're going to deal with all the games from November and December?
Yeah, so before we get into December, what we usually do is take a look back at the month that was and see how we did. So let's go down our recap of the games that we picked last month that we thought were going to be great for this month. Bobby, since you've got it right here, Super Mario RPG sounds like you're pretty happy with that decision.
Enjoying it. Yeah.
You had Persona 5 Tactica, which we just talked about.
Yep.
You had Risk of Rain Returns, which was a
Yep.
game we just saw some on Casual Mondays. If people want to go check
unlocked
that out.
3 more characters.
Yeah, very nice.
It was some good runs.
I think that's from what I saw, it looks like a solid game, but it also looks like a game I've already owned for many years.
You know what it is. You know what it is.
But not that it's bad. It seems pretty cool, in fact. And then you also had My Time at Sandrock, which I don't know if I've heard you talk about this.
I've been playing it, like, I've probably put 30 minutes in since the last preview episode. I haven't spent as much time with this as I'd like to, but I definitely reinstalled it and have been checking it out.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I had Star Ocean Second Story R, which I've talked about on the show before. I think that game is real good, and I've kind of put it down a little bit right now, knowing that that's an old game that got a shiny coat of paint, kind of like a Super Mario RPG. Probably not super relevant to Game of the Year stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that game is cool.
You got a quick look up of that too.
Yeah, that's a solid game. People should check that out if they haven't played it before. It's really cool. I also had Super Mario RPG. We talked about that. Persona 5 Tactica. And then Sanabi, which as I was looking up stuff for this next month and went back and looked at the pics, I was like, yeah, I remember Sanabi looking cool. Did that work? Did that work out? Let me go check the reviews. It seems like pretty cool game.
Nice. You think you're gonna pick it up?
Might be one I actually pick up. I did put it on my wish list. Maybe it's one I'll wait for a sale to go on. But
cool.
Indie game grapple hook 2D platformer stuff.
Yes.
Looks pretty rad. Pretty rad. Apparently, also really story heavy in an interesting way. So I'm
didn't have that on the card.
I'm even more intrigued by it. I think that could be a cool one. And then Johnny, you had Persona 5 Tactica. You picked that game up, didn't you?
Nope.
No.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I have not checked it out yet.
Yeah, you've heard enough from us. I'm sure you've been able to make an opinion about it. You also had Risk of Rain Returns, which I don't think you've played either.
He's played with me. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
I picked it up.
Very cool.
Yeah, I wanted to support those devs just because I love.
You wanted to support Gearbox?
Yeah.
Because Randy Pitchford is really hurting these days.
Yeah. Nice job.
He needs more close-up magic tools.
Wow. Got him.
You also had Super Mario RPG.
Are they owned by Gearbox, or is it just their publisher?
Gearbox bought the IP.
Yeah. Gearbox owns Risk of Rain.
I think I forced that from my memory.
Well, I've been trying to do that for.
Well,
let me know if it works out, because I'll do that for you.
The game's still good.
Yeah. Nothing against
game good.
Popo. Yeah, sure. I'm glad they were able to make a game that they've already made. It's fine. I love Risk of Rain. It's hard for me to say bad things about Risk of Rain. Come on.
Yeah.
You also had Super Mario RPG, and then you had RoboCop Rogue City. Please tell me everything, Johnny, about RoboCop Rogue City.
The game's gotten really good reviews, I think.
I know it kind of has. I kind of want to play it.
Yeah.
I did not pick it up. I did play the
Johnny,
demo and really enjoyed it. I will probably buy it at some
point. Alex Navarro has been pissed at how much he's liking that game.
Yeah, this seems like what I wanted from Rockay City to be.
Yeah. Look, if you like RoboCop, you will like this game.
Yeah,
I think.
I believe there's a game this month that is like another licensee, seems like a cash grab thing, but that one seems much worse in a way that RoboCop looks like it's actually kind
worse than that Walking Dead game that just came
out. Maybe that is the one I'm talking about. I can't remember.
That's probably it.
We'll see when we get in here. Yeah, oof. I know that Walking Dead game does not look very good.
So I think we did all right on our picks.
Yeah, not too bad.
What about some free stuff this month?
Yeah, let's get into that free stuff. The PlayStation Plus Essential. I think they did a great job on December. I'll tell you that. They've got Lego 2K Drive, which that looks like a solid racing game with some Lego stuff in there. Power Wash Simulator, which is a game that we are fans of here. This I do not believe it's like a PSVR 2. I think that's
exclusive to Quest.
Okay, so this is just regular Power Wash Simulator, which great game. And then Sable, which is a game that is on the wheel. So maybe someday I'll get to play Sable. I liked that demo, and I know, Bobby, you were not super taken by Sable when
not as much as I thought I would be. It still looks really good, though.
Yeah,
you know what's better than Sable that looks like Sable? Scavenger's Reign.
Oh yeah.
Whew, boy, that show fucks hard.
All right, then you heard it here first.
The
But yeah,
show
I
fucks.
will. I will definitely be downloading Sable and keeping that for
Yeah.
a rainy day when the wheel picks it. Bobby, you want to tell us some of the new stuff that's coming on Game Pass?
I sure should do. There's only 2 that come out in December, but I will say right before our episode tonight, they stealth dropped a banger and another good game. Remnant and Remnant 2 are both on Game Pass as of this recording. And on the 1st of December, you get SteamWorld Build. And on the 8th of December, a game that we've played on stream that Johnny really likes called Against the Storm coming to PC. And two great end-of-year drops for Game Pass.
The game is fantastic.
Very cool. Well, it's almost time to get into the games for the month of December. But first, we have one more bit of business. You heard me talk about the wheel, my backlog roulette wheel. This is December. This is the final month.
How'd we do?
Backlog roulette for the year. It will not be the final month of backlog roulette. I'm having too much fun to stop doing that now. But this is the last thing for my New Year's resolution. 12 games, 12 articles. It's gonna happen.
Elden Ring and The Witcher 3.
That's one. It's not on screen. Nobody can see that.
Oh shit! Hang on.
And 2, Witcher 3 is not on that wheel. Don't lie to me.
It's right here.
It's not. Nope. I won't accept it. Not gonna happen.
I spun your goddamn wheel. What else are we supposed to do?
That's a lie.
He's got to play Elden Ring. Let's try it again. Hang on. All right, we'll get the real one going here.
They all say the same thing. We aren't blind, Bobby.
Oh, hang on. No, it doesn't. It's Elden Ring and The Witcher 3. Which one do you...
I see. There is a Monster Hunter on here too, you piece of shit. Yeah, good try. That's real brave.
We'll go to your old stale fucking one.
I will say, hey, you guys should get excited. I'm not talking about Destiny 2 on this stream, but there is new Witcher 3 inspired armor in Destiny for $20.
Oh my god! Well, let's see what $20 gets you here.
Each armor set in Destiny 2 for Geralt is $20. That's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Astria Ascending. I think this is an RPG that
sounds like a fucking JRPG, if you ask me.
Yes, it absolutely is a JRPG.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, this one I think it has a neat art style.
No Monster Hunter Rise or Elden Ring or The Witcher 3, but who am I?
Darn, too bad. I guess I'll just have to enjoy myself. I think this is a relatively short RPG. It's got kind of like a live 2D style that you see some artists do.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought the art style was kind of intriguing, and that'll be cool. Astria Ascending.
All right. Well, you've got your game picked out. Let's give the fine folks out there in the internet some games that they can pick out.
Yeah. I will say, still on backlog roulette. I'm still having a good time with Wasteland 3.
Game rules.
I will have to write something up about that. I'm not going to be able to finish it before I write something up for it, but that game's been great. I killed a giant robot Ronald Reagan. So
the Gippers, they suffered.
Things are going well.
Yeah, they are
going well. Let's get into what we're actually here to do this week, which is to talk about the games of December. And we'll start off December 1st, coming up real soon here. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is coming to Nintendo Switch. Indeed. Have either of you guys played a Dragon Quest Monsters game before?
No.
Bobby, have you played a Dragon Quest game before?
Yeah, I've played I've played one on my iPad. I played Builders, and I played 2 versions of the last mainline Dragon Quest.
11.
Yeah, I played 11 on PS4, and then I played on the Switch when they got like the S version that came out.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Johnny, how about you? You familiar with anything from the series? No.
Nope.
So I've played a bit of Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, which I think is the DS game. But the idea here is it's a little bit Pokemon. It's a monster taming game, but the monsters are Dragon Quest monsters, so slimes and Drakis and that kind of stuff. And this is the new one from that series. I think it looks a little rough.
Yeah, it does.
Not gonna lie. I think
Yeah.
I think it looks like a high-res PS2 game, and
Yep.
I don't really care about graphics all that much, but this looks a little plain. It's a little plain to me.
Yeah. And
I
if
also just don't love the Dragon Quest monsters. Maybe I'm in the minority here. I love slimes; they're great.
Yeah,
but
slimes are cool.
It's all just a little too cutesy.
Yeah,
I see that.
I don't know if I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
So, some of those other games, I had a great time with Dragon Quest Monsters, Joker, and they made a Joker 2. I think they even made a Joker 3 at some point. Maybe that was on the 3DS. But this might not be the one for me.
Fair.
But more power to you if you do like these games.
Yeah, go with God.
Yeah, absolutely. Also on the first, Bobby mentioned it, Steam World Build coming
Fuck
to PC,
yeah.
Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I mean, I know this isn't necessarily the SteamWorld game I'm the most excited about, but Bobby, you played some of this game on stream during kind of the preview period.
They put a demo out when they announced it. It's very good.
You're jazzed, right?
I'm so pumped. It's a city builder on top of a resource mining / RTS. Like, it's my shit. I think this is phenomenal. I think it's designed mechanically. I felt it was doing some really impressive things, and I've been seeing some of the early reviews really praising it for its mechanical attributes to it. I don't think it's going to have like maybe some of the replayability that other SteamWorld games have had in the past, but I'm pumped and even more excited that this is going to be on Game Pass, because this was a day one pickup for me, and now it'll be it's already pre-installed via Game Pass.
I think the kind of layer stuff is really cool. Like, hey, on the surface, it's a city builder, but then you go down and it's this mining stuff that you're seeing on screen now. Looks cool.
One friend of the show, Vinny Caravella, was talking about his experience with it. He was pretty positive on it. He said he's also played the whole thing with the controller.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, if they're putting on a Switch, and you know they've made lots of console games in the past, Thunderful, with SteamWorld games as well. So there was no doubt that thing's going to play very nicely.
Everything that you're seeing with like the world grid right here on stream, like that all snaps together really well, even with a mouse and keyboard. So I think a controller will snap you into the right place pretty good. I'm going to check it out on the Ally and see how it does there. But I'm very excited.
That is one I basically guarantee we'll do a quick look of.
Almost assuredly.
That'll be a fun one for sure. So look forward to that.
We got another game we demoed.
Yeah, did we?
Yeah. This is on stream. This is a Next Fest one.
I should stop getting drunk before streams, I guess.
Tell me about it, man.
On the 5th is Born of Bread on PC, Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Hey, somebody made another Paper Mario.
This one, so this came out on a demo around the same time that we were waiting for that Ghost one.
I even wrote that in the note. Bobby, what's that Ghost one you played?
So there's some, I think, legal issues that end up happening with the Switch release of that game.
Yeah.
But this one,
some publisher weird.
Yeah. Shit. You and I felt pretty positive during the demo that it had a good feel to it. I think we were both maybe not 100% sold on the look of it, but we thought it played really well when we were checking it out, and it had a good cheeky humor to it.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel very much like Paper Mario in that it's the 2D characters in a 3D world, very much the way the paper style. Although it doesn't seem like they're playing with the paperness of it, like they aren't turning your character into a paper airplane. Like,
they're a little behind schedule. They said it was going to be fully baked in the summer.
Yeah.
Johnny was fully baked in the summer, and it's been fully baked ever since. But
very true. It does remind me, seeing this, I was like, man, I should really play Bug Fables. Like that's the one I hear that
I think that is on Game Pass, right?
I mean, I already own it on Switch, but yes, I think it is also on Game Pass. Yeah, I mean, I think this looks fine. If you've already played some of those other games, that Ghost game that we cannot remember the name of, and Bug Fables, and you like Paper Mario, and probably you already finished Super Mario RPG, and you're just like, I need another one of these. Born of Bread might be for you.
Yep.
Also on the 5th, Disney Dreamlight Valley coming to PC, Mac, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I've been seeing some. I guess they have like some beta streams or like some early streams that
They had an early access period for it.
Yeah. It's Animal Crossing. It's Animal Crossing. It's The Sims. It's Stardew Valley. But hey, Mickey Mouse.
And they're going to sell a fuck ton of these.
They will. I think it looks really boring.
People who are playing it like it a whole lot, from what I've seen.
Okay. And maybe it's just the art style that's not getting. I mean, there's so many good art styles in all sorts of Disney animations, and they kind of just picked the most generic looking one, and all the characters in that style. Like, I think that Ariel looks terrible.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough looking.
Like the Moana stuff. Like, okay, that kind of fits the style well. You get a Goofy in there. There's your.
Just make it Kingdom Hearts, you cowards.
Yes. Yes, I don't even want that, but yes.
This is just Kingdom Hearts without all the bullshit.
Yeah, this is just
bullshit is what people want.
This is just Kingdom Hearts for fucking normies. What the fuck are we talking about?
Put Tidus and Cloud in there. And
yeah, absolutely. Then you got a stew going. Yeah. This is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, there are going to be people who play this game a lot.
Oh my god, dude, they're going to be printing their own money.
I don't know if this thing has microtransactions. I mean, sorry, it's Disney. I know this thing will have microtransactions and they will sell a shitload.
Yep. Yep.
Not for me. Not for me, but good for the people who enjoy that. What might be for me? Actually, that's probably not true. This is probably not for me either. On the 5th of December, Sonic Dream Team is coming.
Didn't we just get a Sonic game?
We did, but this one's for Mac and iOS. It's an Apple Arcade game. So doesn't count. I don't think this looks terrible.
No.
But also, this 40-second trailer is basically all I can find on this game.
Yeah.
I've been trying to look up other YouTube videos, and you'll get other ones that are 10 seconds long. It's like, here's Tails. I'm like, okay, but what's the game? Like, it looks like it's not open world, but it looks like it's a platformer where you're not running down a single. I mean, there have been Sonic iOS games before that have been
Sonic
basically
Run
on rails.
Yeah.
And this one is not. This one looks like you're moving around, but also you have to have this work with touch controls, right? Like, is this something where I'm going to be able to plug in a controller?
Yeah, you absolutely will be able to. That's a requirement. You have to be able to use a controller.
Okay. I think I want to try this.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be very good. But I'm kind of interested. Well, but it is on Apple Arcade, so I probably won't.
It's a new Sonic game.
Yeah.
So I'd say there's a 75% chance it's not gonna be good.
I would try it on your Mac. Hook your controller up to your Mac and try it there.
Yeah, I'd have to get Apple Arcade again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I could play mini Motorways again, though.
Now we're talking.
Yes, let's move on to the 7th. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. This is the one, Johnny.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yes, actually, I would like to go back to RoboCop, please. Can we do that one instead? Man, there's sometimes where I look at a screen of one of these trailers and I go, oh, that game looks kind of nice. And then I see other screenshots and I go, this game looks like fucking garbage.
Well, look, I'm gonna take one for the team. I've got Ubisoft Plus, so I'm gonna be able to play it, and I will, for science alone, I'm going to turn blue, and blue myself, and check this thing out on stream.
Stop it.
All right, I'll be there for that stream, man.
Or a quick look. It's it's a reskinned, tired ass formula. It's Far Cry with Avatar, and I think Avatar is shit. And this is probably going to be almost assuredly shit, but it could be a solid shooter.
So lame that this is one of the biggest properties in the world.
I know. And this one's actually, I was reading that they're going to introduce elements for the third Avatar in this. So we're going to check it out. We're going to check this out and see. I'm sure visually it will be very pleasing to look at. Graphically, I should say. But I don't. Some
of these moments seem very visually pleasing. The other ones, I just go, "Ooh, that doesn't look that good." I see this and I shake my head. I I would rather see a Marvel movie at this point.
Oh,
Maybe.
yes.
I mean, I don't want to see any of them, but
No.
yeah. I just remember getting a massive headache when I saw Avatar 1 in 3D. That was not fun.
This one will look good though, right? This next one?
Maybe, yeah. Also on the 7th is Small Land: Survive the Wilds, coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. They made Grounded,
They
but
made
they made it much later than Grounded.
Yes. And Grounded just put out basically their version of the Forge from Halo. And you can build out your own backyard, you can build out your own creative areas, you can bring people into it with all the tools they have. I mean, it looks incredible what they're doing. So like to have this come out, I'm not trying to shit too hard on it, but Grounded's like one of the best one of these games already, and this just looks fucking wish.com grounded.
Yeah, I mean it looks fine, but you're right. We already have Grounded, which just looks better.
I mean, this is going a little bit more realistic, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grounded's
definitely a little more stylized.
I love Grounded. You all know that. So this is going to have to do some impressive stuff for me to even consider it.
Yeah, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell when you already got one of these out there. Well, let's move on to something that might be less of a tough sell. And also on the 7th, Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader is coming to PC, Mac, PS5, and Xbox Series X. This is a turn-based 40K strategy game. You guys are the Warhammer heads over here.
I absolutely think I'm going to check this one out.
What do you mean? Yeah, both of you.
I've got a lot of Warhammer games.
I know.
You guys have been playing Dark Tides, and
the thing is like they've got more of the XCOM one. This feels tabletop-y almost. Like
also there's just so fucking many of these games.
I know. If this has,
they give that license to anybody who asks, as long as they make a halfway decent game, and generally they've done okay with it.
If this one has good reviews, I'll be checking it out for sure. Apparently they had a beta that ran for this back in September. I didn't see anything about that, but I'm down to check this out. I like the characters that they have here. I think that this is a cool concept. I like turn-based stuff. It could be a fun game to sneak in somewhere on a Monday.
Those were some good commander decks, weren't they, Johnny?
What else we got?
All right, on the 14th, we're getting Bulletstorm VR coming to PC, PS5 through PSVR 2, and also on the Quest 2. This makes me mad. This just makes me upset looking at this.
Why?
I think this looks terrible. And it also just looks like they've taken out any and all of the personality of Bulletstorm.
Well, I've realized that games like this I can't really play. I've been trying to get better.
Motion sickness stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The locomotion of games like this where I was like seeing if it was going to be teleportation or not.
Yeah.
And the other thing to notice is you might be able to turn it on, but one of the things that has helped me is games are introducing a vignette. So when you push the joystick, depending on how hard you push it, it gives you more of a tunnel vision, which helps with the momentum.
I see.
But this looks shit to me. There's so much better games to do exactly what this game's trying to do out on VR that you can play right now.
It looks lifeless. And,
yeah, totally.
And the thing that pisses me off the most, and I'm not so precious about Bulletstorm. The game's fucking lame, but it's also fucking cool in a very lame way. But the thing that Bulletstorm did was that it had like this Tony Hawk style trick system of the kills where, if you shot somebody in the dick, you'd get points for that. Or if you took out a limb, or if you were able to use like your lash thing to throw them up in the air and then pepper them with a shotgun to keep them up in the air, like a Dante Devil May Cry kind of shit. And it was rad. And they would pop up the names of like all the tricks you were doing as you did them on screen, like it was like Borderlands numbers coming off the guys. And this has none of that. Like you see guys getting shot and it's nothing. Like the only stuff they're putting up on screen are yeah. The only stuff they're putting up on screen is like ammo counters.
Yeah.
And it just and also I know you can't hear it because we're not doing the sound, but it's just a musical track over this. And Bulletstorm, again, not that its comedy was amazing or something, but that was a game that was set about dumbass people saying dumbass shit and being hoorah boys about it. And this is just the most generic army music that the trailer has in here. It's like they didn't play Bulletstorm at all. What are you
I know.
What are you doing? Also,
making money.
Bulletstorm came out so long ago. Why are you just doing this now? I know VR is still relatively new, but fuck, that was an Xbox 360 game. I think the time has passed for Bulletstorm.
Yep.
Just makes me angry. All right, let's move on. Also on the 14th, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. This is the sequel to 2020's Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. This is a fighting game made by Arc System Works. It's still fucking gorgeous. Like all the chibi stuff, like that's more of like the hub world stuff. This is what the game normally looks like. I just think it looks so good.
It's very pretty, but not for me.
Right, yeah. I mean, these guys know how to make a fighting game. Like I know Johnny and I are big Dragon Ball FighterZ fans, and they made that too. They make the Blaze Blue games, and I just think this art style is incredible.
So rad.
But also, all of this is based on a gacha game, and that part sucks.
I'm out.
Yeah. I also tried to watch the anime of this one time, just because like I really like this art style. I want to see like what this is about, and it was boring. I did not have a great time with that.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
I maybe picked up Guilty Gear Strive on PC.
Okay.
With a friend.
Sure. That sounds like a sicko thing you would do.
Look, I thought the game was really cool when it came out, and then I had no one to play with, but me and one of my friends I play Street Fighter with.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped you from playing more Street Fighter though.
I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter the last couple weeks.
Oh my god!
I'm still waiting for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which was the game that Platinum was involved with for a bit, and is going to be more of like a 3D Bayonetta style brawler kind of thing. That game still looked cool, and it got delayed forever, and then Platinum got taken off it at one point. We haven't heard a lot about that recently. I wonder if that's just dead in the water, or if that's actually going to come out sometime. But the fighting game's always really cool. I mean, I'll watch the Evo top 8 of this because it's always just a very gorgeous looking game. But yeah, it's not a game for me to play, but I do respect it quite a bit. So that's more or less it. But we are at the end of the year, and there are a few games that haven't got a release date on, and Wikipedia just throws them kind of at the end of their article that says like, I don't know, maybe these will come out. They were supposed to come out in 2023. So I'll real quickly go over just 3 of these games that were mentioned here. One of them, Arc Raiders, which that one's not coming out in 2023 unless next week it'll be launched at the
no, it'll be the finals before this. It's the same studio.
Okay, yeah.
That's why you haven't seen this one, because the finals has taken off.
But I could see this being us getting a trailer of this.
Oh yeah. I think
we get a trailer at the Game Awards or something. Knowing that this is a free-to-play thing made me a lot less excited about it. But I still like hey, it's Monster Hunter, but it's big robots and. Oh, dude, this game! I cannot wait for this game. I was so hyped for the first trailer. I really hope it's good because I was really taken with the style and the setting and all the stuff they're doing in here. So it did take the wind out of my sails hearing that it was a free to play game, but I still kind of want to try that out sometime. But that's come out first. Let's see. The next one here is Demon School, all one word, which is eventually coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This was listed as 2023, but has no confirmed date yet. I know we talked about this one before. I don't know if this was on the Next Fest or something, but I just remember seeing stuff about this.
Summer gaming.
Yeah. Okay. This is kind of a Persona game. I've heard. You know,
Yeah.
you got your high schooler stuff in here, but it's, you know, a little more Western, obviously. But it's turn-based strategy style game. I think this one looks rad. I just need it to come out sometime. So
give it to us, you cowards.
Again, it might have gotten pushed to 2024, but I'm still excited about that one. And then the last one, we'll keep the hope alive for this. Metal Slug Tactics coming to PC and Switch, maybe.
Maybe,
but yeah, probably not this year. Man, this is the first trailer that they put out, and it's still good. This game still looks so good.
I know. We'll get it someday, hopefully early next year, but maybe. I'm ready for it. It looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's got some good talent behind it, so hopefully it eventually shows up. But they keep pushing it. At one point, I think it said it was coming out August of 2023, and obviously that didn't happen. So they haven't shown any new footage. They haven't talked about any new dates. But we'll keep holding the candle for it.
Nice.
All right, boys, it is time to make some picks for this month. I'll start off because I'll make it real easy. I think SteamWorld Build looks really cool. It's not 100% for me, but I'll watch Bobby play it. Other than that, I'm going to cram for Game of the Year, and then I'll play Mario later. But I don't think there was anything that super grabbed me.
That's it for me as well.
Yeah. Bobby, how about you?
I've got a few here. I'm going to get SteamWorld, obviously, Warhammer, Rogue Trader, and as we mentioned, we're going to absolutely take a look at Avatar with the Ubisoft Plus subscription.
But that's not a pick. You're not telling people that you think that game's going to be good.
No, I have Psy ... Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah, we're not. You know, this isn't E3, and Ubisoft's going to put like the badge on their booth saying, Bobby P's approved.
No. This is just me saying we're going to check. So really, it's SteamWorld, most likely Warhammer if it reviews well, and then we'll check out for Science Avatar.
Yeah, sounds good. All right,
nice.
That is the month of December. That's going to wrap us up for 2023. Look forward to more games of various months in 2024.
I will be super quick here for everybody. We have a lot of fun stuff happening on our show right now. Chase and I played Risk of Rain Returns on Monday night. You can watch that on YouTube or right here on Twitch. We put a quick look up on our YouTube page for Persona 5 Tactica, a game we talked a lot about tonight. Tonight's episode of the Casual Hour was all about those games coming out in December. On Thursday, we are going to put up a quick look for a game I am really enjoying called Backpack Hero. And on Friday, we are getting the gang back together for some shenanigans with Lethal Company. Probably, but Lethal Company, and you can definitely come and check that out on Friday night. Chase, what about you?
There is a new episode of Stadium Brats, my playthrough of Pokemon Stadium with only rental Pokemon. Out today. Came out today. New episode with a good friend of our show, Sam Chandler. We did the Ultra Ball version of the Poke Cup, and I'll tell you, it started to get a lot harder.
Getting spicy.
Yeah, it's almost doubled the episode length because of the added difficulty.
Oh boy!
So very excited to see what the Master Ball Cup is like coming up for the next episode. Fingers crossed. But yeah, you can go check that out at ChaseK Plays on YouTube.
Nice. And Johnny, I know that you typically don't like to talk about what you're doing, but I think there's some stuff you probably want to share that you're doing.
I'm not talking.
I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I started writing for Hard Drive.
Hell yeah.
The video game / pop culture satire site. I have 2 articles I've gotten published so far. I have a 3rd on the way.
If he had a nickel for every article on Hard Drive, he would have 2 nickels.
Do you have you want to link it in chat? Do you have it handy? I should make a little.
Does he have it handy? Those are in the eternal bookmarks.
I have it everywhere myself. I just didn't want to do his job for him.
You can find both articles I've written at the link I dropped in the chat.
I got the URL tattooed on my back.
But yeah, Johnny, we'll actually, I have a reason to put you on a button now. We'll be back live on Friday night with Lethal Company. If you've not watched that game or seen us play it, it's bad in the best way. But we'll be live on Friday night, 9 p.m. with Lethal Company. Chase, thanks